has been such a long time since I have did an episode. Welcome to season 2, episode 1. This is such a crazy time to be alive right now. We are literally living in the days of history. There's a pandemic going on. We got new laws being put in place, and it's just like, wow, it's a lot to take in. And I know you're thinking you're not about to just get on here and talk like you haven't been missing for almost a year. I know, and I have a good reason behind it. So let's go ahead and get into it.
You've got Die on the Line on your podcast. So what's on her mind? And for you now, you are listening to Die on the Line.
Gosh, okay, what's new? I don't even know where to start. There's so many different things that has happened during this time. It's so crazy how time moves so fast and you just have so many things that happen. But first and foremost, I want to announce that I have a set. And I know that this is just audio, but Real Life with Ty does have a set. It does exist, and I'm super excited about that. It is located in Miami, so due to the distance and a few other things, we're going to just use that set for special events and guests. But nonetheless, there is a set for Real Life with Ty, and I'm super excited because throughout the season, I will also be able to show you guys different interviews that I have done on the set. So there will be a little bit of visuals, not as much as I would like, but we do have some visual episodes coming up, and I think that you guys are definitely going to enjoy that. Another thing is that you guys know me, I am a nerd, so to say, so I'm another degree hotter. I have my master's now in social work. Your girl was a COVID graduate. And nonetheless, I'm super proud. And it was weird to graduate during COVID because, we didn't have the ceremony. And I honestly didn't even remember until my brother texted me congratulations. And I'm like, wait, what did I do? And he's like, your graduation was today. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's true. So FAU did hold a virtual ceremony, but I did not go to it because I was just kind of like, I'm not going to sit here and watch this on TV or on my computer. But nonetheless, I am a COVID graduate. I'm a maternal social worker at the hospital now. So I'm on the baby unit. I'm with moms, pediatrics, NICUs, the whole 9. That's where I'm at. I'm also a board member of a wonderful organization called Golden V Inc. They provide college resources for low-income, first-generation students and have amazing events such as a Glass Slippers Project, College Supply Drive. But, due to COVID, some events were put on hold, but don't worry because we are definitely working on coming back twice as hard when things get back to normal. So it's actually really awesome to be a part of something and a group of women who are passionate about giving back to the community and giving back to our Haitian culture. And so it's just fun to do that. Right now we're holding Zoom meetings, of course, because of COVID, and some of our members are not in the same area, but we do hope to meet with each other soon. And I'm really excited to meet the ladies face to face and just kind of get to know them and work with them and things like that in the future. I have a few new things in store for you guys that I honestly can't wait to share, but we're just going to have to wait and see when the season comes, and as new things happen, that's when we're going to be able to talk about them. So now we're going to talk about what I really came here to say and what this episode is about. This episode is about getting back to basics. I had to do this episode as my first episode because I was really kicking and screaming about coming back to audio, which is what took majority of the time to come back in general. Because I want to be honest with you guys and say that, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to be a podcaster. I wasn't ready in the sense that I didn't really take my time to understand a lot of different things about podcasting. And in that event, it's kind of like I wanted to run before I crawled. So for me, it was like, cool, we're going to make a set. We're going to go visual, shut everything down. And let's just focus on building the set and getting that done. And which it did happen. However, it did take time. We did go through a couple different changes. And in the time of me building the set and not doing any episodes at all, of course, now I'm kind of starting from square one. So I mean that in the sense of course, my loyal fans are going to come back. People are going to come back, but we're going to have to build the base all over again. I have to get people to remember me. I have to get people to start listening to the podcast all over again, when before we kind of had a routine. You know, I kind of had my listeners. I had those things already in place. So now it's just kind of like we're starting at square one, which I'm happy about. It's always an experience, but I just want to let everyone know, don't be afraid to go back to basics in anything in life. And that goes for personal growth, relationships, and even businesses, because sometimes we want things to happen now. I noticed that. Like, I'm like definitely low on patience. Low on patience these days. It's like you kind of want everything to happen now, but anything that is worth having definitely takes time. It definitely takes dedication. It definitely takes consistency. It definitely takes you making sure that you're able to do more and do it every single day, even the days that you don't want to do it, but to continue to perfect your craft and you know, learn it and get to the nitty-gritty of things. And I think that's why businesses fail in the first week, or relationships, or, you know, situations that you have within yourself, because it's like we want the end result now. And a lot of times people don't want to go back to basics, because going back to basics means that at some point they failed, or at some point things didn't work out. So it's now, and it can be embarrassing too. It can be embarrassing for some people to have to go back to the basics of, oh my gosh, you know, I stopped to do this major thing and now I'm going to have to go back to basics. But sometimes going back to basics can allow you to build that foundation and to help you build it, to get it off the ground. And I think that foundation is more important than anything, because when you have a solid foundation, you can literally do everything and know that when you come back, it's going to be bigger and better. So that is a thing that I have learned a lot throughout this little hiatus that I've been through, and going through the motions of building the set and being a business owner, and having to change from that mindset of things are going to be here. You know, it's this person's responsibility to do this, and it's that person's responsibility to do that. When in reality, when you're a business owner, when something is yours, it doesn't matter who you give that task to. At the end of the day, it's your responsibility. It was my responsibility to continue the podcast despite the fact that we were switching from audio. You know, it was my responsibility to make sure that we were on top of things. And I did get busy with other things such as, you know, work and school. And sometimes when you are in the middle of chasing your dreams and it's not happening as fast as you want it to happen, or the wins are not coming as quick as you want them to come, it's easy to kind of fall back into your regular routine and go back to what you know, go back to your comfort zone, going back to your routine in a sense, because we're just people of habit. So that was definitely a process. My car has also been totaled. So if you see me in a bucket, wave, don't laugh. But even in that, like, I had to, because my car got totaled, it doesn't mean that I can't go and get a new car. It doesn't mean that I can't go to the dealership and buy a new car. But I was thinking like, hey, this gives me the opportunity to, one, not have a car payment, two, to not have to pay a high insurance. And this can give me the opportunity to save some money and kind of just focus on the other goals that I want to focus on financially. So that's another example of having to go back to the basics. You know, when I was 19, I felt like it was my right, because I worked so hard. And now I think about it, it sounds so stupid, but I felt like it was my right, because I worked so hard to have this brand new 2016 first driver Kia Optima, you know, because I did that. I worked for that. And in reality, it just ended up being such a bad investment. Cars are always horrible investments, but of course, that is something that I learned later on in life. I had a really messed up deal, and I went through 4 years of straight up BS with that car, and now it's totaled. So thank God that it's totaled, but it was a lesson that I had to learn. And now I will think twice about purchasing a car with payments, as opposed to just having a car that will get me from A to B and that will work, and I don't have to necessarily be wasting money in it every month. Now, imagine if I would have saved all of that money in those 4 years. My God. We're not going to focus on the past. We are going to focus on the present. But that is just some examples of understanding why it's important to go back to basics and why it's important to be able to say, I was doing this at this point, and I need to be able to go back to square one. Don't ever be afraid to start over. I think a lot of us, especially in this day and time, you see things happening for so many people because of social media. But nonetheless, your journey is your journey. And wherever you're going to end up, you're going to end up there regardless. So I say all of that to say this: don't ever be afraid to go back to the basics, because sometimes when you go back to the basics, you are able to really understand what steps you did wrong, what direction you took wrong, and learn how to make it better. And just because you started over doesn't mean that you failed. It just means that you have now the opportunity to grow from that experience. You have the opportunity to learn from that experience. And now you have the opportunity to make whatever it is that you're trying to do better. Thank you so much for listening. Welcome back to all my peoples. I'm so excited to speak to you guys and get connected with you guys and kind of get back into the routine of things. Like I stated before, I have so much things in store for you guys, and I am super excited to share it with you all slowly but surely. And let me know what you guys want to hear. Let me know what you guys want to talk about. Let me know some things that you heard in season 1 that you, or didn't hear in season 1, I should say, and want to look forward to in season 2. So hit your girl up. Everything is still the same. Real Life with Ty on Instagram, Twitter, also reallifewithty@gmail.com. I want to do this thing of starting to accept letters. Well, there'll probably be emails. So let me know what you guys think about that. That's something that I have really been thinking about, and I think it'll be a great opportunity for us to kind of talk about real life topics and give people real life advice. So let me know what you guys think about that, and feel free to hit me up on Real Life with Ty, and holla! Yay to the next episode. Super excited. I'm super, super excited. You guys do not understand. So I'm not going to keep you guys for long because this is the first episode. All right, more coming soon.
You've got Ty on the line on the podcast. So